επόμενο μας θέμα παρουσιάζει την συζήτηση της στρογγυλής τραπέζης που διοργανώθηκε στο Hellenic Centre τη Δευτέρα, 26 Ιανουαρίου, με θέμα Ναυτιλία των Ελλήνων 1700 έως 1821, ο αιώνας της ακμής πριν από την Επανάσταση. Η εκδήλωση έγινε με την ευκαιρία της δημοσίευσης του βιβλίου της Τζελίνας Χαρλαύτη και της Κατερίνας Παπακωνσταντίνου. Κύριοι ομιλητές ήταν η Κατερίνα Παπακωνσταντίνου, ιστορικός, η δόκτωρ Μαρία Φουσάρο από το Πανεπιστήμιο Έσεξ, ο δόκτωρ Γεώργιος Βασιάδης από το Royal Holloway University of London και ο Ηλίας Μπισίας, διευθυντής του περιοδικού Ναυτιλιακά Χρονικά. Οι ομιλίες έγιναν στα αγγλικά. Την παρουσίαση των ομιλητών έκανε η διευθύντρια του Ελληνικού Κέντρου, κυρία Αγάθα Καλησπέρα. Ας περάσουμε να παρακολουθήσουμε αποσπάσματα από τις ομιλίες των τριών ομιλητών.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. I would like to thank Mrs. Kalisperas and the Hellenic Centre for organizing this event and giving us the opportunity to discuss Greek shipping in a historical perspective. I would also like to thank my colleagues for agreeing to join me on this journey today. Us Greeks often take pride in our long history. In our long history and the many achievements we can boast across the centuries. This is an integral part of our national myth which comfort us and help us forget our current difficulties. Our history, our stories if you prefer, also help us understand how we made it here, what route we followed, and what obstacles we had to overcome along the road. Let us talk about one of these stories tonight, the story of the 18th century Greek shipping. This was a time when today's flourishing Greek shipping took off. It was not the beginning, but it was a key period of rapid expansion and impressive growth. So far, we knew that 18th century Greek shipping was important, or at least that it was important enough to permit Greek seamen to take an active part in the Greek War of Independence and fight some legendary battles against the Turkish fleet. In school, we have learned about Andreas Niaoulis, Laskarina Bouboulina, Konstantinos Kanaris, and many others who were famous for their gallantry at sea. But we knew little or nothing about their activities before the war or their previous naval experiences. With that in mind, a research project was submitted by Professor Τζελίνας Χαρλαύτη of the Ionian University and eventually financed by the European Union and the Greek Ministry of Education in 2004. The project was designed to produce new knowledge about the sea routes, maritime areas, and trading cargoes of the 18th century, Mediterranean, the period before the Greek War of Independence of 1821. The project was carried out by an extensive team of researchers, academic historians, postgraduates, and PhD students from Greece, as well as Turkey, Italy, Holland, and Malta. For the needs of the project, we turned to a variety of archives, kept mostly in European port cities. The scope and volume of the material collected was quite broad, ranging from sources related to port activities, like the quarantine registers of Malta, Genoa, and Marseille, or records of contributions made to the Seamen Association in Venice, to sailing permits and licenses to carry arms on board issued by the Ottoman authorities in Constantinople and the Habsburg authorities in Trieste. The project was a success, as you can probably tell, not least by the sheer size of the volume we are discussing tonight. Much was learned about Greek maritime history in the 18th century. The trading routes, the maritime areas, and the nature of trade itself became clearer. Our findings offer new insights into maritime trade in the Ionian and Aegean seas and its integration with the Black Sea, the Western Mediterranean, and the Atlantic.
Thank you, Katerina, for that interesting talk and sort of an introduction, really. I'm going to pick up where Katerina left off, sort of starting in the 1820s. Katerina covered the earlier period. I'm sort of going to bridge the gap between Katerina's presentation and Ilias's presentation. It's not strictly speaking about shipping, but I'll be approaching shipping from the angle of Greek family and business networks during the 19th century, focusing on the Raleigh brothers of London and several other places as well. My emphasis, as I said, will be on family, so you're going to hear a lot of names Don't worry, you don't have to remember them all, but you'll see that certain names are repeated, and those are the networks I'm talking about. I'll also mention a lot of the port cities that Caterina referred to, Marseille, Leghorn, i.e. Livorno, Trieste, Odessa, and go much further afield to Calcutta and Bombay, New York and New Orleans as well. The key to understanding the success The key to understanding the success of the Chian business model, as represented by Raleigh Brothers, is understanding the network of business partnerships that were cemented by blood ties, usually. Brothers, sisters, cousins, in-laws, the families of wives and husbands. And the Raleigh Brothers, based here in London, are probably the most representative example and model for other diaspora entrepreneur families in the 19th century, because they were the most successful. The wider kinship network provided an endless source of business partners, financial backers, and down to office personnel of every rank, from directors down to junior clerical staff in offices around the world. And these were people that could be trusted in almost every sense of the word. In terms of success of the business networks and the social networks established in the UK and other countries where the members of the Raleigh family were established, we see how this worked and was a successful model. The sources that one would use to study this kind of phenomenon are scattered. Caterina has referred to the type of business archives that are coming to light. You have to go to national archives around the world, Western Europe and Russia, to find relevant materials. New sources are constantly being identified, many by Caterina and Jelena and their team. They're discussed in the book that was presented tonight. In terms of studying the family networks themselves, we have to use a different type of source, although the names are repeated again and again in the kind of documents Caterina referred to. When we're talking about the Chian family networks, we're indebted to one person in particular, and that's Philip Argenti, whose picture is on screen. He was a lawyer and diplomat based here in London. He continued genealogical research initiated by his father and grandfather. So this was genealogical research into the Chian families that was started in the 1880s, 1890s. So they started when people who were born at the end of the 18th century were still living. So that's why he was able to compile these wonderful genealogical records for the Chian families that were published in 1955 by the Oxford University Press as the Libro d'Oro de la Noblesse de Chio, 2 big volumes like that. He also wrote numerous historical studies on the island of Chios and its relations and its with the maritime history in general of the Aegean. Usually at his own expense, so we're greatly indebted to him. Without him, it wouldn't be possible to even put together a paper like the one I'm going to present tonight. We're also indebted to other descendants of the families from Chios, and in particular Christopher Long and Michael Gelasto, who have 2 wonderful online resources which are mined every day by people, academics, descendants of the families, just the interested general public. They generously publish the results of their detailed international research on their websites, and a lot of information is available at the touch of your fingertips.
So, does history matter? When Dr. Papakostandinu invited me to this roundtable discussion, she suggested I present my research on the development of Greek shipping institutions in the 20th century, the re-establishment of the Greek community in Cardiff and London, before and after the Second World War, its relations with the British and Greek government, the repatriation pact to Greece, and the important role of the Greek Shipping Cooperation Committee in safeguarding Greek maritime interests abroad, would all be topics of interest to anyone fascinated by the creation and development of Greek maritime institutions. As I'm not strictly speaking a historian, I chose not to deliver a presentation on an exclusively historical topic. As a publisher of a Greek shipping magazine that has been circulating since 1931, I have decided to present to you my thoughts on how maritime history, as an independent area of study, is being addressed and embraced in Greek universities and merchant marine academies today, and why re-examining the past may be important in order to understand today's challenges and future advancements. Today, the Greek education system offers 11 public and state-controlled merchant marine academies located in areas with a significant maritime tradition. Merchant Marine academies in Greece are run by the Ministry of Merchant Marine and organized by the Hellenic Coast Guard. They are not considered universities, but have a somewhat peculiar legal status as institutes of higher education. For various reasons, there are no private merchant marine academies, but the previous government was in favor of promoting private education in this sector. The Greek educational system also offers two business schools focusing on maritime economics in Piraeus and the island of Chios, one technical university with a marine engineering school, and one technological institute in Piraeus with a marine construction program. In all four departments and schools, various teaching, educational, and research programs amalgamate different sciences and theoretical disciplines in order to prepare students for this challenging industry. There are also at least 5 private educational establishments that offer degrees mostly in maritime business and economics. Finally, I have also counted 43 business and economics schools in Greece and 8 departments of history at state universities. So how has maritime history developed as a course or an area of study in all these universities, colleges, and institutes? Unfortunately, no maritime history courses are offered in any of the 11 merchant marine academies in Greece. Consequently, the students at the Merchant Marine Academy in Hydra, one of the oldest academies in the world, or the islands of Chios, Inouses, Syros, Evia, and Kefalonia, have no understanding of the maritime tradition and the historical importance of the towns and islands where these schools are located. At the universities offering degrees in maritime economics, maritime history is again neglected, although not totally forgotten. At the Department of Maritime Studies of the University of Piraeus, maritime history is a compulsory course, but it is not taught by a maritime historian or even a historian for that matter. At the Department of Shipping, Trade and Transport of the University of the Aegean in Chios, maritime history is not a compulsory course, and again, it is not taught by a maritime historian or even a historian.
Εδώ να σας αναφέρουμε ότι ολόκληρες τις ομιλίες θα τις παρακολουθήσετε προσεχώς στην εκπομπή με το φακό του Hellenic TV.